we have your weekend Apple news. Welcome back to the channel. So what do we do on the weekends on this channel? I actually sit back because it's the weekend. I usually have a beer. And I go through about 20 or 25 different Apple-related news stories for you. Whatever's in the news, current events, things like that, on products and services and everything else. I take a cynical approach to it just because it's a lot of fun. We have some fun with it. It's the weekend, right? So sit back and relax, and let's get into the Apple news. All right, so based on the title of the video, we're going to go through some iPhone 16 rumors first, and then we're going to go through a whole bunch of different stories about MacBooks and everything else. So stay tuned for all of that. Here's the first article from Apple Insider. It says Apple's bringing back dark black for the iPhone 16 Pro. You can see this picture here. So let's just go down here. Here's the rumor score. It says a new leak claims to show dummy iPhone 16 Pro models in all their colors, which will now include a matte black option. So a matte black option. Following the leak of colors, this guy, leaker Sonny Dickson, has now released the same detail for the forthcoming iPhone 16 models. The iPhone 16 Pro. You can see it right there. So here's his article over here. You can see it. And he shows the three different colors you can see right there, which is a white, matte black, and gray. So for all it's worth, that's a rumor. It looks like it's got a good rumor score. But then we look at the next rumor, which is even crazier. So we go over here and take a look at this. It says iPhone 16 Pro may ship with a new bronze color. Now that would actually be something interesting and cool, right? So down here we go. It's got a pretty high rumor score. It says Apple could use the new color of the iPhone 16 Pro with rumors claiming that the new bronze color will be available this fall. It says Apple usually adjusts the range of colors available for its flagship smartphones, changing the variety each year. For the iPhone 16 Pro, one option could be bronze. According to this leaker here, Fixed Focus Digital, the iPhone 16 Pro Max will have a color especially like bronze, while also having a titanium-like border. So you can see it right there, Apple Insider. So take it for all it's worth, right? Would you guys be more interested in the matte black or this actual bronze color? Because I think, to me, that looks yellow, right? I don't know if that looks bronze to me. I like yellow. I got a yellow iPad over here. But long story short, I think it would be cool to have something a little bit different. And I think that would actually be a good, but the thing is you always put cases on your phone anyway, right? I always do, so I never get to see the color. So I take it back. It doesn't matter. All right, and then one more rumor here. It says for Mac rumors, it says iPhone 16 Pro models widely expected to support Wi-Fi 7. So long story short, if you're using Wi-Fi 6 now, and most people can't even use the capacity of that, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I need Wi-Fi 7, but they don't even realize why they do. But anyways, it says Wi-Fi 7 support would enable the devices to send and receive data over the 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz bands, and then resulting in faster Wi-Fi speeds, lower latency, and more reliable connectivity. It says it's expected to peak theoretical data transfer speeds at over 40 gigabits per second, 4 times increase over the Wi-Fi 6E. So, long story short, 40 gigabits per second on a Wi-Fi or like an internet connection, I don't know if that's even possible. I know, in theory, it's a great thing to have, but is it really going to affect a lot of people? I think the multiple bands is going to help more, obviously. But anyways, take it with a grain of salt. I think it's coming for sure. They keep upgrading that. But I don't know how many people get to actually use that throughput. So I hope everyone's enjoying the weekend out there. Me being in Chicago, it's not the funnest weekend because my team is the worst team in Major League Baseball, but I have to deal with it. Anyways, here's the next one here. It says 9 to 5 Mac. It says Apple reports record Q3 2024 earnings with $85.78 billion in revenue for basically 3 months, for one quarter. Can you imagine that? Almost $90 billion in one quarter. So this is what was interesting to me. It says Apple's Q3 earnings report. So total revenue is $85.78 billion. It looked like the kind of the profits were $21.45 billion, which is up 7.89%. But this is kind of behind the scenes. Let's lift off the veil, right? Here it is. iPhone, $39 billion, right here. So it's down about 0.94%. So not much, but down a little bit. The Macs, $7 billion. You can see that's how big of a difference between iPhones and Macs are. But that's up 2.46% year over year, which is actually good. The iPads are really right there. You can see they're almost about the same as the Mac, but that's up 23.6% year over year. Now, the reason for that right there is because during this quarter, they launched all of the new iPads, especially the Pros and stuff. And then the thing that was interesting to me over here is wearables, home, and accessories, $8 billion. So that's actually more than Macs right now, but that's down 2.26. So that's actually going down. And then services, this is the most surprising, $24 billion right now, up 14.14%. So you can see that basically it's over 3 times the amount of Mac, like for the Mac sales. Can you imagine? I'm more of a Mac person. I have a whole bunch of different phones. phones. I have a Google phone, I have an iPhone, but really Macs is where I am. So I'm actually shocked that it's such a small percentage on Macs, but I think that's what everyone kind of expected, and then the iPads are somewhere in there. But the phones are where they make all their money, and that's why they pretty much put all their intention into the phones, really. And some other things, we get a couple changes every time, from time to time on the Macs, but not as much as I would like. All right, so now we have a couple of MacBooks on sale. These are actually some good sales. You tell me about this. So if you go over here, so here's Apple's website right here, and you can see it's $2,400 for this. This is the 16-inch base model, more or less. It's the M3 version right here, 12-core CPU, 18-core GPU, 18 gigs, 512. This is the base model. They're selling it for $24.99 right now on Apple's website. Right now at Best Buy, though, take a look at this. Same exact thing, the M3, 18 gigs, 512, 16-inch right now, $19.99, so $500 off right now at Best Buy. So if you're looking for a really good deal at Best Buy right now, especially on that 16-inch, I don't know if that's probably too big for a lot of people, but for some people that need that, $500 off right now on Best Buy. I think that's one of the better deals here. But let's keep moving. There was another one that was actually pretty shocking to me, and we'll go through some other deals later too. But take a look at this one. So hear me out for a second. So if you go to Micro Center right now, and let's say you want to get a little bit older CPU, and this is going to be refurbished, but still, this is a really good deal. Take a look here. So Micro Center, Apple MacBook Pro 16, all right, 16-inch. It's a M1 though, 16.2. It's certified refurbished. They have really good certified systems. But look at this, 64 gigabytes of RAM. You can see it there. It's got the M1 Max, so the Max chip, the M1 Max, and 4 terabytes. $23.99 right now. So it's $1,260 off of what it would have been new. $23.99, you get 4 terabytes, 64 gigs of RAM, and the Max chip, which is probably as fast as like the M3 base at least. So this is actually a good deal at Micro Center. It says they only have 2 in stock, but they keep replenishing them, and there's different stores all around the United States. But you can order this if you live in the United States. I don't know if they ship internationally or not, but you guys tell me, is that a good deal? I think that's a great deal. All right, so this next article here is the reason why I think we're in big trouble for civilization. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. So Mac Rumors, it says, new friend necklace offers AI companionship. So I'm thinking, what does this mean, right? It says AI wearables like the Rabbit and the AI Pin have attempted to capitalize on the popularity of AI, but they've always failed. It says that right there. But it says, friend is a necklace that is meant to serve as a personal companion. And in a video that could be the start of an episode of Black Mirror, it is also shown providing support, encouragement, and companionship to the wearer. The hardware component of Friend connects to your iPhone via Bluetooth, and it's listening to all of your interactions around the wearer. So how could that actually be good? That's really crazy, right? Pressing the button on the necklace allows the user to speak to the friend with the message sent to the iPhone in response. Friend is also able to send messages without any type of prompt, responding to what the wearer is doing. Now, it says a friend and its memories are stored on the necklace. Nothing is updated to the cloud and all this stuff down here. But I'm going to show you a video here. Just hold on one second. This is how sad the world's come to. Can you imagine this? So take a look at this.
I know, the effects are crazy. It's dank. I could eat one of these every day. Oh, sorry, I got you messy.
Okay, so what do you think? This girl is sitting there eating a falafel or something, and she's talking to this computer, right? Or whatever it is, a necklace. She's talking to a necklace, and she drops something on it, and she says, I'm sorry for dropping. I mean, are people this crazy now? Someone has to help me here. Am I the only one? I look around the world now, and I'm thinking, am I the only one in the world thinking this? There's got to be other people out there, right? There has to be other people that think the way I do. I'm not sure, but if this thing succeeds, it'll really get me upset. Here's their website. I mean, it's $100 right now. It says you can pre-order it. Here's the website right here. Pre-order over here. I think it's legit. I mean, it might just be like a joke or something. I mean, I have no idea, but I think it's legit, and it kind of scares me. Okay, so after that last article, I got to take a sip, right? Man. All right. Here we go. Kind of get my head going again. So over here from Apple Insider, it says iPhone Fold to be joined by foldable iPad in 2026. So as another analyst has forecasted that Apple will be launching foldable devices in 2026. Now, we've heard about this quite a bit, right? We've heard about it for the end of time. But it looks like it's now being pushed back to 2026. If you scroll down here, there's a guy here called Jeff Pu or Pu. Not the best name, right? It says Pu offers... Poi or something, I don't know, offers that Apple could go down the route of providing a foldable iPad along the foldable iPhone. So in the second half of 2026, while it could have been arrived earlier, he believes the display durability issues has caused the delays in the development and release. So obviously they're having some issues with it, but still, he's claiming that it's going to be a foldable iPad as well, which actually makes more sense than a foldable Mac. I don't understand a foldable Mac. They were talking about that. foldable iPad, maybe, but they're saying it might replace the iPad mini, which the whole purpose of the mini is for it to be small and light. And if they double it up and you can open it up and have a bigger screen, unless they make it super, super thin so it's not that much thicker, I don't know if people are actually going to like that or not because they like the smallness of that. Anyways, I thought it was interesting. Okay, so the next one, if you're a gamer on the Mac or you like emulators and all these emulator software came out, there's been a couple of changes. So Apple Insider, PC emulators are now explicitly allowed on the iPhone and iPad. So we know that, but it says Apple has updated the app review guidelines to allow PC emulators to offer downloads of games, a move that could improve the state of emulation on the Apple Store. So it says basically the new language specifies that retro game consoles and PC emulator apps can offer a download games, basically. Previously, this was not allowed on PC emulator apps. So basically, you could get the emulator app, but you couldn't download the games through the app. Now Apple's actually allowed it. They've changed some of their wording around. So now you can actually get both that and then start downloading some of the games. I guess Apple figures like, come at us. I mean, obviously, there's going to probably be some lawsuits and stuff like that because people are obviously downloading like Nintendo games and stuff like that or whatever games they are. But I guess they just don't care because everyone else is doing it. So I guess it's like guilty by association with everybody else. But still, I mean, I guess if you're a gamer, I don't play too many games like that on these little teeny systems. I know a lot of people do, though. So it could be good for you. All right, so we got another sale here. Take a look. You tell me. Apple 2024 MacBook Air. This is the M3 chip right here. Built for Apple Intelligence, basically. 16 gigs of memory and 512 gigabyte SSD. So 2 upgrades right there, both in RAM and storage. $12.99 for the 13-inch M3. On Amazon right now, I'll have linked all this in the description. But that's not a bad deal, right? I think, again, I'd rather get the 15-inch. I have 15-inch over there. But for 13-inch, you get both upgrade on storage and RAM. That's a pretty good deal. 13% off. They're claiming $200 off right now. All right, so the iPhones, now everyone knows like the iPhones don't have the best battery when compared to like Android phones. I've noticed that. But here's some good news. It's not going to go up a lot, but it says right here, Mac rumors, iPhone 16 Pro model to get biggest battery capacity jump. It says the iPhone 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max are rumored to feature larger battery capacities. So that's actually good, right? It's going to increase battery capacities. So we kind of go down here. It says the Pro is going to go from 3474 on the 15s to 3577 milliamps, so a 9% upgrade. And then the Max is going to go from 4422 to 4676, so a 5 point, like close to 6%. So between like 6 and 9%. But if you equate that to like, let's say your phone lasts you all day, or let's say it lasts you 10 or 12 hours, you're talking another hour or something. So it's all positive, right? And you can see here it's going to, it goes through all these different phones. But long story short, they did something with the battery. They put some kind of housing around it so you can get the battery out for replacement easier. And it's going to cool it better. And there's some other things going into it which allows for this and a little bit bigger capacity. So all this combined, we're expecting more time on these phones. So for at the very least, if that's one of the reasons you need to upgrade, this might be a good time. All right, this next one is also just good news for, I guess, Mac fans in general, right? Because you get all those Windows people attacking you. Over here from Apple Insider, it says Delta's CEO criticizes Microsoft's fragility, praises Apple's stability. So that's pretty cool. So here it is. Not that I fly Delta too much, but it says, in a new interview on NBC's Squawk Box, Delta CEO Ed Bastian has spoken out against Microsoft while basically praising Apple. When asked if Delta would reconsider how it used Microsoft in the future, he basically said, "We have to. My sense is that Microsoft is, in quotes here, probably the most fragile platform within the space. When was the last time you heard about an Apple or a big Apple outage, basically, right there?" So here's the guy right here. So long story short, they went on to ask him some other questions. And, just to be fair, he couldn't really answer them that well. Like they said, well, Macs maybe aren't used as much and stuff. But in this last case, because of the kernel panic and stuff, there were some reasons why it wouldn't have happened on a Mac. And that's verified already. So this last CrowdStrike thing that happened. And that's what this is in reference to, is that huge CrowdStrike outage. I think they're saying that he lost, $500 million just on Delta alone or something, $500 million. So, who knows if they're going to get that back from either a lawsuit or getting it back from insurance. But he's probably, pretty hot right now anyway. But anyways, kind of a good news story for at least Mac fans. All right, so we got another kind of sale here on Macs. Take a look, B&H right now. This is the 14-inch MacBook Pro, so it does have the M3 Pro chip right there. And if you go down here, it says basically 14-inch, obviously, 36 gigs of RAM, though, 512 gigabyte SSD. But the RAM is up to 36 gigs right here, $1,199, $200 off right now, usually $2,400. So that's actually a good deal. I mean, again, these kind of deals you don't find too much just because they're kind of these weird configurations. 36 gigs on that little machine there, 14, I mean, for getting around $2,000 is going to do all of your video editing and stuff if you need it. It's going to be a powerhouse for many, many years to come. I know the M4s are coming out, but these kind of systems here, I think they're fine. I mean, they're going to be fine for a long time. All right, let's keep moving here. Apple Insider says Google adds Chrome AI features that can search your browsing history. So I thought, again, what can go wrong here? So this is the problem with a lot of the AI that I keep talking about. We kind of come scroll down here. It says Google is rolling out a trio of new features for the Chrome browser and Mac OS, aiming to improve your web surfing experience with using AI. So we all know about this. There's one change where they're going to let you click on pictures and it's going to come up and identify whatever's in the picture. That's fine, I guess, kind of. But the second thing is, let me just see if I can find the second one. It says down here, it says the second main change is for users to be able to search through their browsing history. These searches for pages you visited, but not necessarily saved as via bookmark. So if you search for stuff but you didn't save it, you can ask it. Now, this is the problem. So users can search the history using conversational language. So it's going to say here, what was the ice cream shop I looked up last week? And then it'll basically tell you, right? Now, the funny thing is here, it's really important because I read the whole article. So if you can imagine, like, let's say your wife or your husband's like, yeah, what did Norm search last week? I want to know what he was looking up. And then you could be like, well, what's my wife searching up? What does she want to buy? I mean, this could go south really quickly, right? But then it says down here, oh, you can turn this feature off if you want to. But again, nobody knows how to turn it off probably. They're going to make it impossible or something, and nobody will. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh, what did little Billy search last week? Which might be good for kids, but everyone else, I think it's just a bad way to go. Not that anyone's doing anything illegal or anything like that, but still, it's just kind of funny that they keep going this direction. This is kind of like the recall feature that it really failed. Everyone hated it, and they're going there again. All right, the next article here is from Apple Insider as well. It says Apple Vision Pro gestures may spread to the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. So you can see this little diagram. So I think it was last week, I showed that the Vision Pro is going to be letting you make your own gestures. I made a joke, or it wasn't even a joke. The person said, doing this to like make somebody cut off the volume or something. I'm like, that's not a good thing to do to anybody, but you can make these gestures and stuff, and it'll respond basically based on your custom gestures, right? But they're thinking this is going to come to the Mac and the iPhone as well. Now, again, I'm more of I guess, old school. I envision it on the Vision Pro, right? You're moving, it's looking at your eyes, it's doing all this stuff, it's looking at your hands. You need it on there. But do I really want it on like a MacBook or something, or like even my iPhone? Do I always want that system watching me? So basically, if I'm typing away and I do something, it has to be watching you, right? It has to be constantly looking at what you're doing. Do you really want that in a system like that? I understand it has to happen with the Vision Pro, but you guys tell me, would you want that on an iPhone and a Mac? And I mean, are you going to be are you that lazy where you just can't touch the keyboard? Who knows? Okay, so this next one kind of shows Apple's dominance in smartphones and why they make all that money there. All right, so it says iPhone dominates top 10 smartphones list for quarter 2, 2024. So this is quarter 2, I guess the quarter before. You can see the article here from Apple Insider. We're going to scroll down. I'm just going to click on the graph. Again, this is the graph here. This was on Apple Insider. It says the source here. I'll have it write down here, but you can see total global share, top 10 selling smartphones. Here's 2023. So Apple did have the top 4. Now Apple only has the top 3. So it's the iPhone 15, the 15 Pro Max, the 15 Pro. So the 15 does beat both the Pro Max and the Pro, but both of the Pros combined beats the iPhone 15, obviously. Then we have the Galaxy A15 5G, the Galaxy A15 4G, and the iPhone 14. And you can see some of these other ones down here, Galaxy A55, the Redmi or whatever, 13C 4G. Over here, though, you can see last year they had the top 4 spots, so they lost a little bit, but they're still holding dominance, I guess. You hear all these stories that Galaxy phones are totally, overtaking them and stuff, but not yet. I mean, they still own those top 3 slots now, and what is it, 4 of the top 6. So I think they're doing pretty well. Just kind of good news if you're an Apple fan. Again, I use both. I actually use an Android phone as well. I use a Google Pixel phone, and I love it. So, but some people, only use iPhones and they swear by it. But I'll use both for sure, just because I'm more of a tech person. But who knows? I probably shouldn't. All right, and if you watch my channel too, I like to save money, all right? So this is the phone I might even get for my next phone. It's right here, Mac Rumors. It says some iPhone SE 4 OLED panels will be supplied by LG. So if you scroll on here, it says Apple supplier LG Display is expecting to be the secondary vendor for the OLED panels that will feature next year's 4th generation SE models. So it says that this other company, let me just see in here. Well, actually, before I get into that, it says right here, the 4th generation iPhone SE is rumored to feature an iPhone 14-like design with an OLED display, Face ID instead of Touch ID, a USB-C port, an action button, and an all-screen look that does away with the home button, which we know. The device will display is expected to grow from 4.7 up to 6.06, and it'll be an OLED screen. So it's going to be a little bit over 6 inches, which might be the perfect size if you don't want such a giant screen. I think it's going to do really well with like women and stuff, and even just people that just don't want that thing in their pocket all the time. This other company, BOE, is the one that's basically providing all the OLED panels, but LG is going to be a secondary person because that other company failed. They couldn't supply all of them last time. So Apple's smart and they're bringing in a secondary company. It says the panels pricing for the SE are said to be a lot lower than the suppliers charge for the OLED displays using the iPhone 15 because they're going to be using older parts. So they're going to be older OLEDs basically, not using the newest technology. That's how they're getting the costs way down on this. So it's still going to be an OLED, just a little bit less, as far as the new technology. But overall, I think for $499 or whatever, $449 or whatever it comes out at a 6-inch phone with all those features, that's for me. I don't need anything more than that. The only thing you probably can't do is, the Apple Intelligence, but I'll do that on my Mac. I don't care. And I want to stay away from that anyway as much as possible, except maybe helping me write some emails and stuff. All right, so this next one, it forces me to do this. And this is where we have fun with this stuff. I'm seem like I'm being cynical, but I'm just having fun because some of these articles are crazy. Are they not this week? So over here it says Mac rumors. Logitech considers Forever mouse with subscription fee. This is crazy. Logitech has worked on a Forever mouse that could come with a subscription fee for regular software updates, according to Logitech CEO Henki Farber, or whatever the guy's name is. So I just read through the article, and I'll keep it short. What they want to do is they're claiming that there's so much, this is like what they always claim. There's so many, so much products in the world that it's causing so much pollution and stuff that they're going to offer just one, this kind of one mouse for you. They're going to build it really well. And then to get software updates, you have to pay a subscription since the day you buy it. Maybe it's a couple bucks or whatever, and then they give you the perfect device, right? He wants to subscribe on a mouse. So this is the way I think the world's going. So you're going to end up getting like a device, and you're not going to be able to choose your own device. You won't be able to know when you can replace it. You can't choose it yourself. They're going to tell you after 5 years you can replace it, and then you'll be on a subscription. Maybe they'll lease it to you. I think that's really the way that they want to go, and that kind of scares me because as technology lovers, you do want to try different stuff. And I know there's some problems with obviously the environment and stuff like that as far as like if there's too much waste and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the technologies can overcome that as far as recycling them and stuff and build, using new materials to build them. I think that's a better option than going this route with everything on a subscription model and them trying to kind of line their pockets. All right, so this next one's kind of a cool thing. So over here it says Apple Insider, slew of new iPhone, Mac, and iPad models identified in Apple's beta code. Now I'm like I said, I'm a Mac person, so I'm going to just come down here to the Mac area. Let me scroll all the way down here. So it says for Mac, the code numbers reveal 8 models. Think about this, with 6 having SKUs such as Mac 16.3 and 2 being prefixed as Mac 17. So what does this mean? Based on how, for instance, the M3 14-inch MacBook Pro is known as Mac 15.3, it is likely that the new Macs will both have M4 and M5 processors. So it says 8 models. So it looks like 6 of them are going to be M4 and 2 of them are going to be M5. The M5s could come later, we don't know. But at least there's going to be 6 M4s coming out. And I'm not going to do it here in real time, but you tell me, does that make sense to you? 6 more M4s coming out and then 2 M5s. What are the M5s going to be for? Again, these are Macs. These are not iPads and stuff. They had their own numbers. So I think that's kind of interesting because that means they're probably going to come out with all these M4s, I think this year, hopefully, because the M5s can't be like a year and a half in advance. So it should be interesting. All right, so we're going to wrap this last thing up here with kind of one of these things that I haven't talked about lately, but it's probably one of the best computers you can buy, obviously, if you're a video editor or something like this, and nobody really talks about it anymore, but here it is, B&H. It's the Apple Mac Studio M2 Max right here. It's not on a huge sale. It's $100 off, but $18.99. But for $18.99, you get a 12-core CPU, 32 gigs of RAM, 512GB SSD, but you get the Max chip. This thing can do anything you throw at it. It's incredibly fast. It's the M2. I have an M2 MacBook Air with 16 gigs, and I can do video editing, 4K, everything. So this thing's a powerhouse of a system, only $18.99. I think this is like the best steal for an Apple device right now. If you're doing serious work, it can do just about everything. Let's just be honest. I guess some people in really extreme conditions might need 64 gigs or something like that. Obviously, you might need a little more storage. You have to use external storage, but that is, I think, still one of the best systems you can buy with Apple. All right, so we're going to wrap up this week. Thanks again. I'm drinking my, what is this, Howdy beer here. Anyway, yeah, that's a rare find, trust me. But we'll talk to you guys in the next one. So definitely subscribe if you can. I do this video on the weekend and just have some fun because this is kind of my fun, right? But then after this, I'll do some more serious videos. I do reviews of stuff. I talk about all different Apple products. We get together. We kind of have a lot of comments and stuff. I'm trying to make this a live show eventually. Maybe have some guests on it and stuff. But I got to get the viewership up. So if you guys can help me out, post my link to this video if you can't anywhere, like on blogs and stuff. People that like Apple, maybe we'll get some more viewership. It's going to help me. I need to keep the viewers up. I need to get them up. Otherwise, I got to stop these shows, right? So if you like this show, post this somewhere that other people can see it. I don't care where it is, and then we'll get some more views and we can go from there. So we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.